Hi, for my very first video, we are going to make Christmas trees out of baseboards. Now, I got a whole bunch of baseboards for free off the online garage sale site. So right now what I'm going to do is just start cleaning them up, take a light sanding to them. Sometimes they have caulk on them that you would just peel off with your fingers, or if it's real tough, you would scrape it off with a chisel. Now, when I did pick these up, I did ask the homeowner what year his house was built in, and it was in the 1990s, so I knew it wasn't going to be lead paint. If it was lead paint, I'd probably pass on them, just because I didn't want any exposure. But since I knew the paint was after 1990s, or in the 1990s, I can go ahead and sand away, no problem. I don't sand it very much, just enough to get the loose chips off. Now put your miter saw at a 45-degree angle. Now these baseboards have a fatter side and a skinnier side. They kind of taper down at a slight angle. So I just put the skinny side up against the fence of the miter saw and would cut at a 45-degree angle. Now you just do it for one side on each of the boards. Now the Christmas trees we're making, there will be a small, a medium, and a large one. I'm just going to show you the small one. I'll have all the cutting measurements in the description so that you can see how much. But for the small Christmas tree, it will be 6 boards at various sizes. But at this point, you don't need to measure anything. You're just trying to get one side of each and every board to be cut at a 45. Now, from time to time, I do see the baseboards popping up for free on the Facebook garage sale sites or Craigslist, but you can also go to Habitat for Humanity. I got these 8-foot big pieces of molding for $1 a piece. Now, I'm re-recording this part of the video because my first video messed up. So basically, you want the fatter side to be the longer part of the board. So you're going to measure from the fat part of the board out. Now normally I wouldn't use a magic marker to mark my spots, but I thought you could see it better. Normally you would use a pencil. But you just have to put a dot where you want to cut, and I put a little line outside of that just to show me the correct angle that I'll be going into. Now these measurements don't have to be precise. The only precise one you need to really worry about is the very top board, the skinny board that needs to come to a point like a perfect little triangle. Otherwise, don't sweat it. You can measure once and cut once. Like I said, it doesn't have to be that accurate. You just need the fat side to be the widest side, and the narrow side will be the skinnier side. It will make like a triangle. Now back at the miter saw, you need to turn it the other way, the other 45-degree angle, and tighten it back into place. And always when you cut, make sure you use your safety precautions, your ear protection and your eye protection. So now you're just going to cut the other side of the board that wasn't previously cut, and make sure you're going at the correct angle, because remember, it needs to come together like a triangle. Now whenever I do the very top board especially, I always like to put it on a longer board, just because the board is so short I don't want my fingers to get that close to the blade. Just continue to cut your boards. The small tree takes 6 boards, the medium tree 8, the large 10, and all the measurements will be down in the description. Now for your stem, you have several choices. You can use 2x2 or a fence board. It should be something that's pressure treated or cedar just because it's going to be in contact with the ground. Now this is the old video that was messed up, but since it's only 2 cuts, I thought I'd use it. And I am just putting an unmeasured just point at the bottom of my board just to help get it in the ground. I lined up all my pieces face side down on the floor just to make sure it was all symmetrical. You always have the option of cutting a little bit off if you think one board might be too long for your taste. But I'm just putting some wood glue on the back side of the board on the fat edges. Remember, since it's tapered, not every piece of the baseboard is going to be in contact with your board. And I forgot to mention for the stem, I did dog ear the top of it, just took the corners off just so I could put it up higher on the smaller triangle on the very top. Now after I get it lined up, make sure I like how it goes, I use my little brad nailer just to nail it in place. I use galvanized nails just because it was going to be outside. And you just put several in, and I'm using 1-inch brad nails and aiming for where the fat part of the boards are right now. If I aim it to where the narrow parts of the molding are, the brad will probably show through. You need to hold up your brads to whatever backing you have to make sure the nails that you choose won't come through. Now you don't have to use a brad nailer. You can always use screws, you can use real nails, and you can always do it from the front side too if you just want a little extra hold. Now my trees are going in the dirt in my garden bed, so it's soft. So my stem is good with just being a piece of wood. But if you're gonna be putting your tree into some hard ground, you might want to attach some of these little, I'm not sure the right name for them, but the little U fasteners so that you can hammer electrical conduit into the ground and just slide your Christmas tree on top. You may have noticed that I left the top of the stem squared off, and that's so that I can use a block of wood on top of it to help hammer it into the ground. If I just hammered it directly on the fence board, there's a chance you might hit the top corner of the Christmas tree and might break it. Now here are all the trees together, the small, medium, and larges. And I like to leave mine white. I think it's elegant, but feel free to embellish yours with lights, tinsel, ornaments. My trees are outside in the elements for the Christmas season, and then they're back in the attic in Texas for the other 11 months out of the year. And they hold it pretty good. There's some paint chipping, but I don't mind the shabby chic look. You can see the new one on the left and the old one on the right. If you like this video, please like or subscribe to my channel. My aim on my YouTube videos is to be creative on a budget. Thank you.